Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the LANCESCURV Show podcast. And I want to thank everybody for pretty much calling me and letting me know what's going on and what has happened with Brother Kevin Samuels. And at first, to me, it looked as though, let me just check my sound and make sure everything is coming through okay. I'm going to ride the chat room hard tonight, because actually I did fall asleep, but I love it when you call me up when things come out. I don't care if it's for me right now in Accra, Ghana, it is 4:01. But when it comes to things like this, I like to stay on top of it, but I don't want to go out and repeat something that I don't know. I was quite in shock when I found this out, as with any high profile person, especially since within the last 2 days, I watched a couple of his videos and some opposing videos to his views, which we'll get into that. But for the sake of his family, for the sake of those who loved him, I don't know if he was a father, husband. I do think he was married and had children, but I really didn't get into him like that to say I know everything about his personal life. But he had to have some kind of a family. He's here. So, or he was here, right? So I just say rest in peace. That goes beyond his philosophies, no matter how you felt about it or felt about him. It's going to be very interesting to see the reactions now that this has happened right before the weekend and right during the weekend. This is now, even on the East Coast, it's 2 minutes after midnight. So it's a lot to wake up to when people really find out. And he brought a lot of strong opinions. And my thing is now not to just jump the gun and want to run out there and be the first to say that he transitioned, because I did notice that there were many YouTube channels, because it was brought up to me by a friend, and I said, well, let me look into this. And so I went to YouTube and I saw a lot of channels that weren't well established. And when I saw that, I said to myself, okay. So I saw that the Star Report, my dear friend, he reported on it, but he did it in the respects that it could have been something viral that was a rumor, because he's very shrewd. He's not going to go out there and say something unless he knows it. So I continued to check. And then Empress Olajit told me that. She says, well, Mark Lamont Hill had confirmed it. So he's not going to say it unless he knows it. But for a little while there, I was beginning to think that it was a hoax. I didn't want to jump out there. I could have gone on a lot earlier. But I said, let me hold back a little bit, because there have been times I've had some near misses when I was about to push the button and go live, and I find out that a situation did not come through to be true. So I'm a little careful now, since people look up to me and look to me to fact check things. And I have to say, many years ago, sometimes I was one of those guys who was up and coming and jumped on the bandwagon and kind of repeated something I didn't know, not as far as a death, but maybe a rumor. So I don't do that anymore. I think I'm well established that way. So it's confirmed, but I looked at TMZ. Now, what they would say, TMZ is not about us, but it showcases a lot of things that we're in and things that happen to us, entertainers, sports, and it's not really in a good light for us. It's almost the way they highlight a lot of crazy things and everything like that, but they didn't have it. So I checked some other sites that I know to be somewhat reputable. They didn't have it. So I said, okay, I'm sitting back. I'm waiting. And once I got it confirmed, I looked into it a little more. I said, okay, I'll talk about it. But I'm not here to be a reporter and report on things that have already been reported on for so long in the last few hours, because that's not what I'm here for. If I can find an angle, Sweet D, thank you so much. I didn't see the chat room. I was just kind of, oh, y'all, I was going to look for you. I didn't see the last couple of times, right? But, you know, and I'm going to acknowledge the chat room after I finish kind of getting off my chest. For me, it's not about jumping the bandwagon and, he died. He died. We have a lot of that on YouTube, those who are just looking for hits. I'm comfortable where I am. I'm comfortable with the circle of folks that I have around me. Whoever wants to come on, come on. That's not that kind of channel. We do have fun. But that being said, I want to say to also, before we get started, to download the LANCESCURV app at the Google Play Store, Apple Store, and Amazon for free, and it's not bootleg. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be speaking about in a way in his passing that the Wicked Witch is dead, and that kind of mentality. There will be those who bring the idea that maybe it's a conspiracy, you know, Okay, this should do it. Let me know in the chat room if the sound is back. This should do it. I think I got it. Got to think quick on your feet in this internet game. Okay, let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, I think it's back. Yeah, I heard it on the screen. I think it's back. It's back, right? Okay, cool, cool. Lucky I know this program pretty good because all kind of things happen. And yeah, thank you so much. And I want to acknowledge everybody. I'm seeing all the names scroll up and down. Thank you so much. You know I'm trying my best. You know, the electronics sometimes will fail. And I got it really rigged up here, different a little bit this time. But anyway, like I said, there will be people who will take joy in the fact that he passed away, not realizing we're all going to pass away. We're all going to transition. And I'm going to say that he said some things that many didn't agree with, and he said some things that many did agree with. But I think that for all of our voices, that in the Black community especially, that we need to do like synchronized swimming and take all of the scores. And if you want to omit the high score and omit the low score to get an average and blending of what's in the middle, then that's fair. But I did think that he had some things that we need to listen to, you know, basically accountability. Many people didn't agree with his style because they felt that it was too harsh. Okay, I can understand that. But let's just pull away that with the emotions and look at some of the things he did said. Am I a full supporter of his? I can't say I'm a full supporter of anybody. You know what I mean? But there were some things that he said as far as accountability. But I think deep down, and this may seem controversial, I think that he had a good heart, but maybe he executed it a different way. You know, a lot of us have family members who they love us deep down, but they can never really tell us that they love us. They'll always give us a hard time. We're never good enough. And then on their deathbed, they'll be like, you were the best. I love you. I did this to make you better. And then you cry your eyes out because now you got the acknowledgement from that person. And when you think about marriage and when you think about the institution of marriage, okay, that's the ideal. We know that things don't work out. We know that sometimes we kind of jump the gun because we want to go past. One of my things is that although I have not always followed my rules, or I never even had these rules, I knew what they were, but I never really, when you look back, you say, you know what, I should have did this the right way, right? I'm not really for ragging women or sisters and saying that once you pass 30, that's it. I can't say that because how are we going to get to that point of 30 and all of a sudden that's it? But a lot of us as Black men and Black women, we don't get our acts together until like right before that age, if we're lucky enough. There's so much coming at us. But, and I realize I need to put my pocket internet to charge up. Let me see. Don't need to. I'll leave it like that. It's a full charge. I'll walk around with the internet. I'm always on point when I'm in the street, right? You know, I'm going to look in the chat room. I want everybody to be respectful, you know, because we're being respectful. Thank you for the compliment. Nola boy, much love and appreciation. But imagine, okay, I'm going to be pro and con. I want responses, especially on this video. I want comments. And I want comments on the actual site when I put up this single page for this particular broadcast. I want this to spawn a discussion, not an argument, because a lot of us do get very emotional when we hear things that we need to hear. Stripping away the delivery in the way he delivered the message, right? If we strip that away and take away the nuggets of truth, right? You know, just because you have your favorite meal at a restaurant and a roach drops off the ceiling into the plate, that don't mean it's not your favorite food. You're just not going to eat it. Well, what if the roach didn't fall in it? What if you had a chance to take a bite into it? And it might not be your favorite food, but it has some nutritional value in it. There's a lot of things that have nutritional value that taste nasty. You know what I mean? So like, let's just take the good. What good can we take? For all the things that many of our sisters said that they didn't like that he said, and it is an entertainment value on the internet. And I think he realized that. I think that he grasped the fact that, you know, he had to be harsh, or he wanted to be harsh. Maybe he did have a vendetta against Black women, but sometimes like a rainy day when it's storming and you say, oh man, the day is shot, you know, now unless you plan on staying on the inside, right? And not going out, it doesn't matter to you. You didn't plan on the cookout. You didn't plan a long walk. But if you're going to be inside, it doesn't matter. But if you did decide that you want to be out there and you see the clouds. So sometimes during the storm, the bad storm, the clouds pull away and the sun pokes through and then it goes back. And you say, you know what? It's going to be all right. There's always the sun shining behind the clouds. And sometimes with the harshest of advice, there can be a truth. I've heard many a drunk man, what do you say? You strip it away when you make his videos about his tone. Yeah. Okay. Right. And Amir said I knew of him, but I wasn't really actually a follower. Yeah. And he said he's a woman hating rainbow or whatever. Look, I don't care who. Yes, Fetty. That's where we're going to go with it. Fetty's always on point, And they said, yeah, I could. Waruka? Yes. Yes. Some of KS's broadcasts were problematic, and I stopped listening about the silly women rejoicing over his death. It's very problematic about those women need deep-rooted therapy. Yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out over the next few days and how we as a people deal with it. And it's going to be a great litmus test to see where we really are as far as maturity is concerned, because I'm not going to defend what people think are the harsh things. I want to look past that and get into whatever truth or nuggets he had. Because like I said, just like the drunk uncle at the cookout, at the barbecue, and all the families there, he will come out and he don't care. He's an older man. He's got plaid pants and polka dot shirts on, skips and high waters and white socks, or even slippers, with white socks on it, and his toes are poking through like pig hoofs. And he don't give a damn. And he's drunk and he's going to tell all the family secrets, don't matter who next door is listening, whatever. And I'm getting to a certain point like that too, because I see reality for what it is. So I think there was he knew he was being controversial in his delivery, and he knew he would piss a lot of women off. But again, look past that, right? And let's talk about accountability. Let's talk about choosing the right mate. Let's talk about trying to build a future from early on. This world will have you indulging in so many different types of activity, and the elites and the so-called powers that be, not to get like a conspiracy theorist, but I want to say it this way. Ain't nobody else of the other or of the elite or coming down on us for being, I'm not saying our sisters adjusting to partying the lowest. I'm going to go there for those who do. I'm very clear on how I talk. So for those who are of that fiber, who are of that makeup, I'm directing this to them. We have many sisters who are 40 and 45 and 50 who will find love. They'll be 65 and they will find love. Finding love is like walking down the street and having to pee real bad and not knowing if you're going to make it to the door. Or how can I tie that in? Well, you know how you're walking down the street. You're not driving, you're walking. The closer you get to the door, you're fumbling with the keys. You've been putting the keys in the door for so long, and now you get the key in. And some of us tinkle a little bit. And we check our panty or our underwear, and we say it didn't hit, but we get inside. And as soon as we get in, whoosh. And guess what? 3 minutes from then, you're not even thinking about how bad you have to go to the bathroom. So if you find love at 70 or 75, you're not thinking about all of those years that you thought you were lonely. We are social creatures. We are made to be with each other. The institution of marriage is destroyed by the way that we go into it. We have degraded. We were married more in the 50s and 60s from what I heard, and I'm not excellent with the statistics, but pretty much you know what I'm talking about. I'm the hype man. I'm not going to sit here and give you a lecture. Just let me know how I'm doing with the audio and everything. I'm just going to keep glancing every now and then. I'm going to vibe with everybody, but right now I just want to make sure that I get my points out so people don't come at me because they misunderstand me. And I'm sweating out here in this African heat, and I love it. But we got to look past that. And that drunk uncle at the cookout who says what he says, it's very important that he does that. And sometimes he could upset people at that cookout and they want to leave. Some people say, well, I couldn't say it like him, but he did say the truth. You know what I mean? And we need to look past the packaging and the words. So when we see somebody transition that we disagreed with, we got to know that there's something good, something that we can salvage, something that we can take with us instead of rejoicing in his transitioning, because he has influenced so many people. And I've heard many women agree with him, not on everything, but they can see past it. From what I gather, maybe I'm wrong, that he was all for the institution of marriage. And I heard he was divorced twice, maybe once, maybe twice. I'm not up on that. I don't watch him that way. But anybody who passes away, their book, the life that they have, if it was a book and it has different chapters, there are lessons in that book, no matter how harsh or how much you liked it or didn't like it. Isn't it something that we are hearing, that Adolf Hitler was a Jew or had Jewish blood? And I say ish because we know they're not the real Jews. We understand that. It's always something of a tragedy when we have a polarizing figure or even one who looks great. I was listening to a video of Muhammad Ali the other day, and he had some dark sides to him. It's just a balance. It's just how human nature is. But how was he really Kevin Samuels off camera? I mean, do we really know him, or do we know him just from what he presented? But what he presented was something that stirred the cup. It stirred up many people. And I think anybody who stirs up thought and they're thought-provoking, I think it's a very good thing. Paul Mooney, comedian. He's another one who transitioned. Was it last year, right? Well, he'd get up in the front and he'd talk about racism, and that was his thing. Racism was his thing. I know many out here, many of us who were called coons, didn't like him. Many who were rigid and anal-retentive Caucasians who didn't want to see the world as it really was, but they wanted to ignore history and what happened, they didn't like him. But Paul Mooney was ahead of his time, and he even suffered because of the truth that he brought, because it wasn't popular. But many Caucasians and many Black people would hide behind the tree and listen to him, but they wouldn't want to be there. Now, I'm going to get this gnat, y'all. I think I'm quick with my hands. This little gnat is messing with me. Probably somebody from a past life and just... I'm not saying that Kevin Samuels is on the same level. But again, if this is true, and I believe that it is from what I heard, then we need to look into what made him irk us, because he would get on the men too, but not as harsh as he got on the women. You know, he would dress size, body weight, like that's just all it was. Some of my most intense relationships, whether it was serious or something of a passing fancy, were with overweight women. Not grossly overweight, but there wasn't no thing about measuring you or whatever have you. We're all in a state of flux. We're all changing. We're all evolving. But hopefully, what little he said that others may say was the truth, we can take from that and separate our emotions and say, you know what? This is one thing I got from him, and I think it's the truth. Now, would I have done it the same way he would have done it? No, I'm a little more talkative, a little more loving. I'm going to take time. I'm a detail-oriented person. I'm considerate on people's feelings. But like I said, I'm not out here to be lucrative out of being controversial. I'm just being myself. This is why I can climb up out of my bed, fire everything up, make the banners that I did. I was sleeping, y'all, and come here and just speak from the heart. Yes, my style wouldn't have been his style, but I think that for the younger generation also too, that they need to take heed on a lot of the things he said as far as accountability. I think that, you know, earlier in the discussion, I was just saying how we don't even think about HIV anymore. We don't think about STDs anymore. I'm not saying everybody, y'all, but I'm saying generally as a people, we are out there. And maybe you and I may not be out there because we're of an older age now. We have some sense. I can't say I was a saint, right? And in my younger days, I did a lot of reckless things and stupid things, you know, no drugs, no crime, but just girlfriends and stuff like that. And maybe I shouldn't be alive right now. You know, the way I lived is like running out in the rain in a thunderstorm or a hurricane, running across the street, touching the house across the street, running back, and you don't have a drop on you. I was blessed and preserved. So I can't knock when I see people doing things that I did, but I can try to talk some sense into them and let them know, listen, I was where you were, but it's a lot more dangerous now. We got to have compassion, because people, once they get angry, they're not going to hear you. They're not going to hear your truth. But then again, sometimes it's for some of us on the team to come out straight up harsh. Sometimes you have to raise your voice. Sometimes that child has to get an ass whipping. I'm not about abuse, but sometimes the heavy-handed way, whether it's verbal or sometimes a little physical, I don't mean really beating anybody down, but we do have to do what we have to do. And when we have harsh conditions, we need a harsh word sometimes. Sometimes we need to piss people off. And you see, we didn't know that his work is done. That, listen, what do you mean his work is done? Like he's doing something good. There will be people who will be happy. They will say the wicked witch is dead. Ding dong, the wicked witch, you know. Okay, let me see something. Yeah, Amir, right. I do. I'll put that up on the screen, but I'm still focusing on, and I want to put up some of these comments. Yeah. Okay. Is there anybody here giving any funny business here? Let me see. Is there anybody I need to steamroll because I'm not watching? Okay. Right. That's right, Glow. That's right. Okay, let me just kind of move it along and whatnot, because I'll address all of these comments and stuff. The audio still good? Let me know. I've been having some audio issues. The other day I had an embarrassing moment where I started talking. Oh, okay. Who's trolling? Okay, I think I know. Okay. Is it Dawn? Okay, I think it's Dawn. Dawn, what's up? You come here to troll? We're here to be intelligent. We're not here to be sidetracked. If it is you, you know. Okay. Okay, Dawn, I didn't see a name with it. Okay, you had your 15 minutes of fame. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's take that off. If it is. If it's not, I'm sorry. All right, thank you, sweetest princess, about the audio. But yeah, we got to take an average of everything and look into the history of why we are the way we are. Like, there's a big faction, and this is me talking. I'm going to talk I'm not going to skirt the issue and try to play the fence and be neutral. I'm going to speak it the way I see it. And it really hurts me how we've gone as a community. And this is why I did extract truth from a lot of things he said. There are a lot of things I wouldn't have said it that way. There's a lot of things I didn't understand. But he was born in 65. I was born in 63. Not because I'm 2 years older than him, but I'm in that age group, right? So our situations are different. Our experiences are different. I will say that we are all the sum total of our experiences, and we don't know how we averaged out to get to this particular point. So we have to, when we deal with people and talk with people, try to, as a conversationalist, and if you're a master conversationalist, you have to understand how to listen, right? You have to. Thank you, sweetest, right? Yeah, G-Rock, that is, celebrating someone's death is pure evil. It is. Because there's some people who have done some seriously terrible things to me, wrong to me, and I did not gloat when they died. We all have to go that way. All I ask is for balance and justice and karma to work its thing, and it's out of my hands. So me even saying that is not something bad where, oh, he said he wants it. Look, if they did something that karma had to visit them in a way, I'm not wrong for saying that. I wish karma come on me. And me and karma are cool. Matter of fact, I got an appointment with karma to go out to lunch tomorrow. I keep karma cool with me because I'm not going to put anything. I did some things back in the past. I broke a few hearts and got into things and, you know, had to jump out a window or two in my life. But other than that, I'm not trying to, at this age too, because it's getting kind of lonely at this age group where a lot of my friends are just passing away and people that I know, even though youngsters are doing it too. But like I said, the institution of marriage that we used to be into before, there have always been people who are having affairs. There's always been people who are cheating. We understand that, but that is something that undergirded our community. And when he spoke in favor of that we're so far off the mark as a community, both men and women, this is me talking now, that when you're on the road and a squirrel or a cat or a dog or a child runs out or a ball rolls out, you know the kid is coming out right after it, and you turn the steering wheel in a very harsh manner. You know that you can't stay in that oncoming lane. You better turn it back. You just can't take your time or you run off on the other side. So a harsh situation deserves a harsh correction. And the thing is, these days, we have so many generations of dysfunction, and I'm not going to blame our sisters. It's a lot of different factors involved. And my way of really talking to our sisters would have been in a whole different tone. It would have had to take longer, because there are many sisters that I talk to through this platform that it's not even on a show. And a lot of them are angry, and a lot of them are or have not even the anger, but the black man ain't shit mentality. And I'm a black man. So I have to be able in this, it's not a fight, but it's a battle to get to their mind. So I have to be able to have so much love inside of me that I can take the blows and not shoot a blow to knock somebody out, but shoot a blow of love that can hit their heart where they'll open up and understand that I'm not that guy that did them wrong. So I get that all the time. There are people who watch this show that look for flaws, that if I don't thoroughly explain everything that I'm saying to the T, they're going to find one little thing and come at me and write books and give me these emails. I'm like, what the heck? You put a lot of energy to this. That we need to correct ourselves. I need to correct myself. And I'm in a whole different lane than I was 40 years ago. I'll say you need to correct yourself. And then it's not personal. I'm saying you, not anybody specific, meaning that we have to look inside of ourselves to see what we need to do better. Because it's not just the black woman's fault or not just the black man's fault. It's what we've been put in, how we've been turned against each other. I mean, there has been some serious work to turn us in against each other so we don't have community anymore. And I'm very angry about that. And maybe some days I'm going to get harsh too. Not maybe like in that manner, but I know I'm getting more intense in my delivery of things that I see, because come on, man. These are the things that I heard talked about when I was 50 years ago, when I was 9 years old. When I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s, we got to wake up. When I was in my 30s, we got to wake up. 40s and 50s, and now I'm leaving the 50s soon, in less than a year, and I'm hearing the same things, and we're worse off. So I'm not mad per se at Kevin Samuels for going in the way he's going in. I would have done it different. But what we need to do when we hear the next Kevin Samuels or the next person that's anti-Kevin Samuels, I'll listen to that person to see if I can extract some kind of truth out of that. And we average it out. You go to the library, you don't read every book. When the police come around and do an investigation, they don't talk to everybody who lives on the block unless it's something really severe. You got common sense and you know a situation when you see it. But why is it that we have been turned against each other? Let's push Kevin Samuels out of it now. We're going to talk about him. But why is it that the black woman and the black man can't seem to get along like we did? Because really and truly, all we have is each other. We're made for each other. We should be loving each other. We should be trying to be with each other. We should try to build families with each other. We should try to build communities with each other. And businesses with each other. The government used government planes to bomb Black Wall Street. That shows how much they don't want to see us unified. I know that if I'm with Mrs. SCURV, or even if I'm with another woman on a business date, and I'm showing her respect, whatever woman I'm around, if I'm with you, there could be somebody in the tightest jeans or the shortest skirt that pulls your eye as a man. You notice these things and you start blinking. You may not be in the mindset of lust, but it's, whoa, because men have that spark. Ladies have that spark. We're attracted to each other. But if I see that, I'm not going to be all up in the girl's backside and trying to talk to her when you go to the bathroom or in your face. No, I don't do that. I'm not going to make you feel like less, and I don't want you to think less of me. And I have feelings, and I have passions, and I have desires. We all feel a little lust sometime. I try to keep it real out here. But deal a certain way. Carry yourself a certain way. Let's stop fussing with each other to the delight of people that don't like us. Let's stop getting online and fussing with each other and talk about, oh, them hoes and these bitches. And why does she deserve to be called a bitch? Why does she deserve to be called a hoe? Even those who out there in the street sucking dick for money, I would not call them a hoe. They're misdirected. And hopefully they'll find themselves back. When they were born, the parents didn't say, oh, isn't she a lovely little young hoe? No, they thought the best for their child. They wanted the best for their child. And some way along the way, what's the song by, oh God, The Whispers. It's The Whispers, right? Lost and Turned Out. They said something to the effect of, the girl was walking to grandma's house and somewhere along the way, the pimp got to her and she was lost and turned out. Whatever way we are, there were circumstances that averaged out and blended in with our particular brand of personality, because the situations that you went through, I'm going to react to and deal with it different. The situations that I went through, you're going to react to it and deal with it differently. We're all human. We're all individuals. We're all like chemicals. And what do I mean by that? Well, in science class, you take a vial A and you have vial B, and you take vial B and pour it into vial A, and you're looking and nothing happens. When you take another vial A and you take vial C and you pour vial C and you begin to pour it into vial A, it starts smoking up and you throw it down and it burns your hand, because different chemicals react different ways. One man will see a woman and says, yeah, she's kind of plain. She's all right. Her personality doesn't spark me off nice. The next man will see and be like, oh my God, how can you not see her beautiful attributes? Her internal is so lovely. Her spirit is so soothing. Her mentality is compelling. And oh, God bless her back there too. But that should not be the first and foremost thing. Why is it that we're turned against each other? I feel, whether you agree with Kevin Samuels or not, he's like a spoon, in that big jar of chocolate milk. You put the cocoa mix in that bad boy, and you put the spoon in this long spoon. You stir it up. Stuff comes up from the bottom. You have a short spoon. You can't really stir it up. We need the long spoon, whether they present themselves like Kevin Samuels or not, to really go deep on our hangups, on our idiosyncrasies, on the things that we hold deep, but we know how to cover up. We have become very much a dysfunctional people, and I'm not going to blame us. We are dysfunctional. Look at all the things that we've suffered as a people. I don't care how many other people, well, others have endured slavery and all this stuff. We are still being worked on to this day. And I don't have the victim mentality, because I'm here strong at this age. And if I have to go tomorrow, you'll know that I walk strong every day of my life, even when I had issues and dealing with very harsh conditions on my shoulders that you didn't know about. There are many here and there are a few here who know what I have gone through up until this day. And it hasn't been easy, but I'm not going to be bitter toward my sisters. I know when I have to deal with some on a harsh level, it has to come that way sometimes, but you don't really want to fight fire with fire. No. You don't want to do that. You want to be elusive when they attack you, because you got to understand they've been through some really bad situations with men, possibly. And there are some who learn their behavior from family members, little girls getting their hair braided and hearing their aunts talking. Well, if you want to keep that man, you got to give him some. You better, and if you want to get him, you can't be giving it away to everybody. And we get imprinted with these things because of somebody else's pain and dysfunction in their situations. And it's passed down from generation to generation, the pain that we feel. I was reading an article the other day when they said that trauma can be inherited on the deepest cellular level. So I'm not saying this to say, well, we can all play victims. We can all act dysfunctional. No, we're the only ones that can heal each other up. And like I said, was it last night? We're going to have to speak to each other on the frequency and vibration of love. And I think maybe Kevin Samuels was a little pissed off past a certain point. It is a business. He was making lots of money, and we had to look at that aspect also. I'm not really like bringing in big bucks over here, okay? That's not really my goal. I enjoy doing this. This is another manifestation of how I express myself. I enjoy where I am. I enjoy my life. I've slowed it down a bit, but I keep moving forward at a pace that I can go off into my 70s and 80s if it's deemed for me to have that much time. Because I'm walking in a time period now. I mean, it can happen to anybody. There are people who don't even reach 10 years old and catch a stray bullet or have a terminal illness and don't make it. I'm not thinking gory, but I want to make most use of my time from this point on because of what I see around me. Like, whoa, another one's down. I'm still here. What is it that I'm supposed to be doing? So as a person who's turning into an elder statesman, I'm not some older guy with a cane and shaking and they give me props just because I got old. I want you to give me props because I earned it, because I've been transparent, because you can feel the love coming from me. So I'm not going to rag any one of us, like I said, unless you're a baby raper, beating grandmas over their head to take their check, or forcing somebody to do something, or doing something just totally off. I'm going to try to find a way, because you know what? Just like any number that you pick, number 67 and number 1012, at some point of multiplying them up, you will find a common denominator. So no matter how odd we look and how distant we look and diametrically opposed we appear to be to each other, if we take time, we can find something in common. And once we find something in common, then we could take our time and untie the knot. You ever get old telephone cords or old phone you put away in the box, and for some reason you put it in there and the cord was all right, but now it's all knotted up? You got some gym shorts on or some shorts that you got to and you're like, wait a second, I got to go pee and I can't you can't do it quick. You got to take your time and say, okay, let me look at this thing. Okay, this is the end of the shoestring. Let me pull that one part out. Let me pull this other part out. And you take your time and unravel it. Now you're free and it wasn't as bad. But if you yank it, lots of times you tied it up tighter than what it was, and you got to stick something sharp in there to get it open. Well, that's the way we are. If you fight fire with our sisters, then they're going to come at you. And there'll be some who won't like me for saying that Kevin Samuels had some truth to say. I'm not saying everything. He was entertaining. It was very entertaining, because we didn't really hear anything like this before. We had snippets of it in different people, but the way he brought it, there's some things that I learned. A lot of the statistics that we run with are not true. And I put the website down that he often refers to about statistics, right? And there are no black men. They're all gay and locked up in jail. I found out that that's a lie, right? We run with things oftentimes out of our emotions and feelings of desperation. But when it comes time, and one thing I will agree, that when I deal with a subject, I go in with surgical precision. That's one of my favorite terms. Like even when I have a bunch of things to do, like, oh God, I got to do this. And I got to do this graphic. I got to write this article. I got to do this audio, and I have to go to the store. And now the phone's ringing. Something unexpected I got to do. I'm like, hold on a second, Lance. Take your time and go in with surgical precision. All these other things are screaming for attention, right? But let me go in on this one part right here. And when that's done, I'm going to allot 15 minutes to this. It's a type of triage that I do. The thing that takes the most time is what I'll do last. It's like when they suggest to you paying off your credit cards, right? Some will say pay off the biggest one first, then the next biggest one, and go on. And it gets easy as you go along. But face it, look at it, deal with it, dissect it, look at it in the eye and every angle of it. And how are we going to untangle this knot of confusion that we have in the Black community as far as relationships? Because if we can't relate to each other and love each other, we're doomed. Any brother out here, any sister listening to this, do you want to see your race doomed? Maybe some of you have gone over to the other side and say, I don't care about Black women. I don't care about Black men. The white man or the white woman or somebody else is better. If you feel that way, go for the experience and find out for yourself whether it's yay or nay. But it should not be where you abandon what you have. And that's the problem with us. We throw away people in relationships too fast, because we can click on a profile and see another delicious looking person or somebody appealing to us, and we all put the best foot forward and we try to look the best. We go to the club, look the best. We go to the supermarket, we picking up people, and we're trying to throw off now because we're in la la land, y'all. We are not really in reality right now. We're too much into this damn phone, and it just imprints different things in our head, and we start getting gassed up. And then we start to act out like the things we see, and we believe these things that we see. There was a YouTube channel, and I actually put up, let me see if I could find, if you go to LANCESCURV.com, and on the right side, in the right widget column, you go down, you see Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you see main forum list. And below that, you see latest forum activity, right? And that article that's right below where it says latest forum activity on LANCESCURV.com, right? It's a Diane Carroll. Strong, independent women will find themselves old and alone. I found that very refreshing, not because she said that, but the source of it all. Now, here's an older woman who has a standard of beauty and has aged gracefully and has been to the top through Hollywood and maintained her dignity. And she's saying this? That's a video in that channel. You need to subscribe to it. I forgot, I don't want to say the name wrong, but it's on my page. You click it, you'll see the video. And if you go there, leave a comment. Maybe I can drop a link to it. Let me see. I don't want to make any noise happen here. Let me see. Well, first I got to refresh this. Let me go to this page. I'm going to actually drop the link in there. And I will be doing that with videos that I look at and want to comment on, because when you stay on YouTube, it kind of gets lost in the sea. So if I put it on my site, we can discuss it there and leave some comments there and kind of vibe with each other. Let me go back to the site. Let me go into, I have a lot of the live stream is going on the site also. If you're there, there's not many people there right now. I'm not going to force you to go there either, but got to go to YouTube actually. Bear with me, family. Let me get to YouTube and I'll drop it in this on the other computer. I could drop it here, but it's not here, it's over there. So just bear with me. But we need to not allow ourselves to get so emotional when people say things. We've got to take a step back. I know I'm very passionate, and I know when I was much younger, I had quite a temper. But only when somebody did something to me. Like I could hear people talk and say things, whatever. When you put your hand on me now, I'm going into overload mode. Like, or you put your hand on somebody defenseless around me. I was always very protective that way. But I've learned to control that, because that could have been something that landed me somewhere where I didn't want to be. And my mother always feared that. I said, okay, I'm going to be cool. I'm almost there, y'all. Just bear with me. Okay. Here we go. I'm going right into the show now. I'll drop this particular, you all need to really listen to this. He played the clip, the channel owner. He played the clip. Okay, there it is. It should be dropping right here soon. Little delay here. What's going on? Okay, there it is. There it is. Yeah, that's on my site in the forum section, but you will see the video. And on that particular page, I want us to continue a discussion. Even if it's the future and you're seeing this video like 6 months from now, right? I always want us to continue to dissect and break down why and have intelligent discussions. And I want to really get in with certain projects that are done very soon. We're always going to have call-in shows. I want to have it like that. And I want us to come away with something enlightened because of everything that we bring to the table. Just like back in the day when we would have those cookouts and everybody had to bring a plate. Not even just a plate, but, you know, a little tinfoil thing. Okay, I'm bringing a potato salad. I know I can bake up some of that chicken. It's like, Sister Wadley, you know, you better bake up 2 of them chickens because I love that chicken you do. And how come it's them older black women that got the little floppy arm that got them big arms in the kitchen, and she just know how to throw that on in the kitchen. Not putting nobody down. It's just the way it is, right? And we all chip in with our wisdom. We all bring something of our experience to the table, and we can have a powwow. You know, with Kevin Samuels, it was a one-sided thing because you're listening to him and he's breaking down a particular one, but he made us think. He made us think. You know, we got emotional sometimes, but he had some truth. And so maybe in that particular dialogue, I will break down maybe 2 or 3 things I felt he was on point about. Maybe the delivery wasn't something that everybody enjoyed, but let's all this is not the time to get emotional. See, social media right now, all the different platforms, to me, they're all about promoting dysfunction. Others love to see us at our most dysfunctional. So when we're on the job, if you have the type of sister, not saying all sisters are like that, she loses it. I don't give a damn about your job, and that's on blah, 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 blah. You know when Martin used to do that little character, right? We all would laugh, but there's truth to it. It doesn't mean that they're saying everybody's like that, but we need to be able to be like certain people that we keep our stuff in-house. And we can discuss things without just pointing the finger. Black men ain't shit. All black men this, all black men that. Well, those are the ones who are going to be the most harsh toward a Kevin Samuels. There are certain women that let him speak what he spoke and let him talk. And okay, I don't agree with this, but I got it from what you're saying. He's from a different generation. I am disgusted lots of times, but I don't keep my mouth shut, but I know how to share it, right? I'm 2 years older than his birthday. I fully well know, and I know that he saw different changes. I don't know his life walk. I don't know his personality based on just a YouTube video. I could be crazy acting. I could be sexual. I could be goofy. I could be doofy. I could be accident prone. I could be on point. I am what I am, but I'm comfortable in who I am. So you'll see different shows and be like, oh man, Lance, he's off the chain. And they say, oh man, you'll see other shows. Oh, he's so deep. If you are immature and don't know how to average out what you see in a person, it's just that I'm just bearing my soul. You'll see me. Look, is the weather the same when you go out every day? You know, the weather's not the same when you go out every day, right? You got to prepare for a different style of weather depending on what the season is. And the same thing is with me. The same thing is with you. The same thing is with everybody. So how many times have we met people that we loved, but at first we didn't like them because maybe subconsciously they reminded us of someone that we didn't like, or just something about them just said, and we didn't know why. We just didn't want to be bothered with them. And after a while, something comes over you, you're around them, and you're like, I like this person. And they would tell you, like, I know you didn't like me. You're always looking at me and mean mugging me. I didn't do nothing to you. And you're like, oh man, that's just the way I am. And then you go later on in the midnight hour and say, I need to correct myself. What was it about me that was off to have such a bad feeling on this wonderful person, right? So we need to, I'm looking at the chat room. I got 2 chat rooms, right? I'm looking at it that way, right? Okay, right. Well, yeah, you're right, Glow. What's true for one may not be true for the others or for you. Exactly. It may not be applicable at the time. It may not be a rigid truth that's truth all the way through. Sometimes we're at different junction points in our life. And what was truth for you at 23 is nothing now, or watered down something that, okay, I understand that, because we grow in our perceptions and our ability to absorb something beyond the scope of our life is greater. We can see beyond our lives, hopefully more sound, whatever age you are, that the version of you now this year is better than the version 10 years ago in 2012. Maybe you're better. I'd like to think that I'm a little better. I'm going to hold on to certain things that I know is the truth. Doesn't mean you're going to completely throw everything out just to be new. But there's certain nuggets that you say, you hold on to this, and until you prove me wrong, I see this to be the truth. It's like I used to shop, and maybe many of you all have gone through this before the age of downloadable music and stuff like that. Way back, like the early 90s, late 80s, when you had CDs. I'm not talking about the investment, I'm talking about the music, right? And you had your CDs and you said, you know, you're working a job, you're not making a whole lot of money, but you're going to go shop for some CDs, right? Now, I know how to rip music and all that stuff too, so I'm in heaven right now, right? Remember LimeWire, y'all? I used to get on LimeWire all the time and jack up my computers. As soon as I said, you know what? I need to stop downloading because these things have viruses. And you see a song, it's a trick song, like, oh man, I got to get that song. Click, and your screen goes off. You're like, oh man, and you get tempted to go back again. But back in the day when we used to go shopping for DVDs, right? I might have had X amount of money to get maybe 3 CDs at this price point. So I'll get the first CD. I really want that one. This is the game I used to play. So we know 3 CDs is the budget, or maybe 4 if they all were a little reduced in price. So I'm holding on to this one CD and I'm going through now. I used to take like 3 and 4 hours sometime in a music store, HMV and all these other ones that used to be around. I couldn't even tell you because I don't remember. And so I'd find another one and then I'd find the third one. But I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's something that I might find that might make me put one of these back because that one might be a little more rare. So here I am. About the time 5 hours went by, I was in there 5 hours. The original 3 that I chose were not the 3 that I walked out the store with, because I had to rationalize, okay, this was rare. I might not find this. I got to get this, but I like this one. But, you know, so this is what we do in life. What's important to you now wasn't important to you before. If we can go back, depending on how old you are or with the chronological age, that if maybe, the things you liked 40 years ago, me 40 years ago, I could vibe and I understand the words that I say now, but I wasn't really trying to sit around and listen to this stuff. I had it in me and I could have a very intelligent conversation because I was much beyond my years. But to live the truth and find out the hard way from situations that hit me like a boxing match, right? And you keep your left hand down and they come with a right hook and keep hitting you with the right hook. You should know to keep that hand up and be able to duck down and come up. Life will teach you lessons that words that you didn't listen to couldn't because of the time that you were in the mindset. I felt like I was Superman when I was 20 years old. I ain't gonna show the picture no more, but y'all saw what I used to look like. I didn't really think I could jump off a building, but I knew I was exempt even from that point. I wasn't that cocky, but I never thought about death. I never thought about getting whipped in a fight. I'm super. I never said this, but I felt very confident because I took very well care of my body. That was something for me. But look, even now, I see how the ravages of time can take its toll on your physical body. And I have a little more aches and pains, but it's not aches and pains that is something I should be scared of. It's just that after a while, things begin to fade and go. You put new brakes on your car, after a while, you're going to hear it squeaking because it wears down. So I think I've been good in extending the functionability of my body, but our bodies are made to expire. You keep driving and I put gas in the tank, it's going to expire, and hopefully you won't be on a dark road where there are bears and alligators out there, right? So we all are confident at that age. I see what you said, Amir, you're right. But even our sisters now, a lot of them are not thinking the same way. And it's not a blame thing because a lot of our brothers are not thinking the same thing. I'm just talking about some, but not all of our sisters, the younger generation especially, who they see on Instagram and Facebook how empowering it is to display the attributes of your sexuality. The Black woman's sexuality is the most powerful sexuality on the planet. I'm sorry if I insult anybody. Yes, it is, because it doesn't really just revolve around the orifices that she possesses, that you may find pleasure in. It's the essence of her. It's what she's born with. But even she is misdirected by what she sees on Instagram as they encourage her to turn around and pop her stuff. And she sees the attention that men give her that are on a lower vibration. I mean, I'm scrolling through YouTube and get them YouTube shorts. I'm in the checkout line of the supermarket and scrolling through my Instagram and something pops up. So, and I stay there a second too long. Let me scroll on up. And it's, what is this about Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, y'all? Fellas, I'm asking you a question. You're not sitting there gawking at some woman's body parts, but how come when you're somewhere where somebody's next to you, that always pops up and you can't get your thumb fast enough to move away from that because I don't want people thinking I'm watching porn or something like that. It always pops up, but we're pushed into this thing. And you got to understand, there are girls 11 and 12 years old right now who are not dumb. They hear things, they see things, they are knowledgeable about the physical aspects of what goes on between a man and a woman and the different kinks and different fetishes that we have. They're knowledgeable on this, but they don't have the emotional development. And so when they see their mama hurting because of a man that did her wrong, she internalizes that also. And many of them who may be violated, but they get into a mindset where, oh, this is what you want? All right. I gave up on love. I'm 14, 15 years old. I ain't going for that love crap because I see what my mama went through. But guess what? You want this? You can have it, but you're going to pay me. You're going to pay me. You ain't going to leave me high and dry and broke with a bunch of babies. And if the next fellow wants it, he can get it because I'm disconnected. And our dysfunctions continue. Am I blaming her? No. She was put in a situation where she had no choice in her mind at her young age, not having the emotional development to pull back and see what the whole circumstance was. So that's why we who are elders and olders, because sometimes we can be an older, but it doesn't mean we're an elder. I'm 59 years old, and I know some people 25 years old that they're my elders because they have a wisdom in a certain area that they can school me on. So don't think because you're older and you're a parent that you can even tell your child something, because they can see that you haven't learned the lessons that you had to learn yet. How about that? So we all got to check ourselves and make sure that not only are we saying the right things, but we're exuding and exemplifying the right things. Even when we're quiet and I say do the right thing, they know how you walk. The analogy that I use, when you had maybe you have 5 children, their mama died, and they live with their grandmama. And the grandmama wasn't up and super strong, but the little kids, they watched the grandmama cook. And she didn't really teach them how to cook, but pass me that butter, baby. Pass me this. And they hungry, because grandmama make the best food, right? But one day grandmama transitions. And those little kids are maybe a year or two older, and they have an aunt or somebody that takes them over, but they want grandma's cooking, but they can't get it because she's not here. So guess what? What they do? They get together and brainstorm. Well, grandmama always used to get some flour, right? But it wasn't the regular flour. It was that one right there. Okay, let's get some of that. And she used this big spoon to put the egg in the flour and mix it and make the batter. How much egg I think she put 4. No, she didn't. She put 3. Yeah, it was 3. And they reconstruct and reflect the love that grandmama gave through the food, and they reflect it on each other. Isn't that beautiful? So after all the hell we came through, being in this oppressive system, and some people say, stop talking about the oppressor. Who is the oppressor? This thing we feel, this spiritual energy that we feel on us, these things that are manipulating us to go against each other, because I'll say they. We'll get into that later on if you don't know me. Here's another conspiracy theorist. When you feel it. You go near the stove and you feel the heat, don't you? But you don't see the heat. And you had to learn when you were younger, you put your hand in that hot stove that somebody told you not to touch. You knew what heat was all about. I'll tell you an embarrassing situation. The little pajamas that we all used to wear? It had that little snap-in type of button type thing. Like it had a little piece that went out and snapped. And you had the one on top, you had the one in the middle, and you had one on the bottom. And sometimes the middle little button would pop out. Now, I'm a little kid, 7, 8 years old, 6, 7, 8 years old. And there was a radiator in front of this window that was facing sideways that I can look up the block, and it was in my little room. And my room was in the front of the house. It was a hallway to the side. Those who grew up with me, y'all know it. And so my father would call before he would come in. And sometimes he didn't want to go back the next day to finish his job. He had his own business. He said, I'm going to stay out late and finish it out. And sometimes if it was a weekend, I'm waiting up for him because he said he's going to go by the pizza joint that was all night Manhattan and bring home some pizza. I was tired, but I'm looking, he ain't here yet. So one time I thought I heard the engine. I knew the engine of his van. So I jumped up and put the light on, opened up the window. It wasn't him. But I played some music real low. My mother was like, don't wait up for him. He'll be home soon. I said, no, I got to get that pizza. Like I was going to bum rush him and take the pizza. I stayed up. I leaned up by the window, but there was a radiator down below me. Now the radiator was kind of, because I was shorter then, because I'm not a tall guy now at 5'10" either. I'm leaning over, and I felt the heat. It was cold outside. The heat felt good. That was like really cold outside. I'm looking. Every time headlights came down the block, about 3, 4 in the morning, wasn't too many people. I'm looking until the little eyelet on my pajamas popped open, and my little wee-wee hung out, and here was the radiator, and I unhumped. Okay, I didn't know nothing about humping at that age, but I unhumped so fast and grabbed my stuff and moved away. I thought my stuff was burnt because I thought I smelled burnt meat. Like, people frying pork. Who frying pork around here? You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. You will find out real quick if you don't acknowledge the lessons that you have to learn. Moral of the story. Went all the way around for that just to say that. So those of us who are younger and feeling confidence and sometimes that sense of invincibility when the juices of youth run through our veins, I was there and I know I still got some of them juices running through my veins, but I got some sense because, I done bust my knee on the coffee table a couple times. I done stepped on a splinter a couple times in life. Men, we all pee sometime and miss the bowl and be like, I got to wipe this up or she's going to kill me. We all make misjudgments and mistakes. And those are the things help us to learn. But I think we need a little more. Not Kevin Samuels per se, but those staunch advocates of what we need to build our community. I extracted the truths that he has said, not the way he has said it. And if we never had a chance to have somebody else bring their mentality to us via the smartphone, via the computer, via the television set, and these so-called reality TV shows, that's not my reality. That was not my reality growing up. I saw my mother honor my father. I saw my father honor my mother, respected each other. Even when they had disagreements, it didn't get past a certain point, and I had to overhear it. And of course, I learned some, not family secrets, nothing gory or anything, but little things they knew I wasn't ready to hear as of yet. And I was a wise kid. You know, I'm playing with my toys. I'm 3, 4, 5 years old. My ear was like a satellite dish, picking it all up. And I got my sense that way because even then in their private conversations, it was chock full of wisdom. And I understood things not by what they said, but what I saw in the community. I saw that there was a certain way we had to carry ourselves, even though we knew the secrets of different families up and down that block. They made sure their kids didn't see certain things. And it was a responsibility to raise them a certain way. And guess what? They weren't going for it. A lot of times, especially in fatherless homes, I think this thing is going down. Let me put this up on the charger real quick, y'all. Just gonna step inside here. You know I got to hang up, right? I got to hang up about everything has to end up at 100% on a charge. If it's like 97 and I got to get out of this somewhere, I'll be like, yo, I'm staying here with a 3%. I keep batteries with me to charge stuff up. If I lay down on the bed and realize I didn't hook one thing up, I'm getting about the bed and I'm going to charge it up. That is a hang up for me. You want to bother me? Like, show me a phone that has 3%. I will give you my battery. Like, listen, please charge. I don't like to see that. I'm just telling you my pet peeves. I'll tell you different pet peeves as we go along. But we had examples and we had people who spoke very harsh to us. But now a lot of us don't want to hear it. And the more we move away from those attributes or from that state of being, is the more we're falling apart. But the world applauds us the more we can go against the original way. And it was never perfect. I understand that. But it was a lot better. Wouldn't you say that the world, as far as we're concerned, was a lot better? It may not be because of Kevin Samuels himself, because me and him were basically the same age. Him 65 and me 63. But the bottom line, we had not a full-blooded Kevin Samuels who just came with that stuff, but we had men and women who weren't. Listen, you can't come to church with us like that young lady, like some little girl who was friends with the lady's daughters, and you need to go on home and change that dress and put something on a little longer, more befitting. You ain't gonna disrespect the Lord like that. See, we had things in our life that we knew when we were going off a little bit. It's like that mechanism that they have in the vehicles that when you're driving and you start to nod, beep, 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 and it wakes you up. But without that, we would go off the path and kill ourselves, wouldn't we now, right? So we find ourselves in this place where the engineered man-made world says that certain things are okay to do. That really is not what our grandmothers and our grandfathers and the original communities we had. But most of the time, we don't have community no more. We have mere neighborhoods, people that live next door to each other, people that are not concerned about each other, that don't see the importance that we are together in this thing. And if I don't tell you what I saw your daughter or your son doing, you're not going to know. And you may end up with a pregnancy or a son that's in jail. We have to be our brothers and sisters' keeper because everybody is profiting off of us. So we can't go against hearing righteous word and truths, no matter how it's packaged. Sometimes we were grounded and couldn't go outside. Sometimes the next door neighbor, somebody down the block, made a secret phone call to tell how we were cussing amongst each other and laughing or talking something sexual. Mrs. SCURV, you know, I don't call for no reason, but you know, your son is something else. You know, he's decent when he acts around us, but he a little young freak. You need to talk to him. I never had that. I was too sneaky with it. I'm not saying for anybody to glorify being sneaky, but I wasn't trying to get caught like that. But I knew better, and I was raised a certain way. And if you don't have a foundation that you were raised in, guess what? you have nothing to come back home to, meaning that you're lost when you're trying to find the right way. You oftentimes find out, and many of you would agree that may have been hard-headed, and you would admit that you were hard-headed. I knew it was not lucrative for me to be hard-headed. I went along with it, but I had a lot of freedoms as a young man coming up. I had a different upbringing. But many of you who rebelled against your mothers, daughters, and fathers who rebelled against the fathers, and all the different combinations of the son didn't listen to the mother. Well, they need a man around the house. They don't need just any old man. And a lot of our daughters see no good men that take the slot of being a male in the household. Househood. That's a new term. My Freudian slips sometimes come out just right. Househood. Right? I don't live in no household. I live in a househood because my house is in the hood. But they see that example where that woman just wants that man to lay up with her because his sex game is so good, but he has got no damn wisdom. See, your daughters see your compromise. And a lot of times, let's talk to the sisters now who have gotten to a sizable age. Maybe you weren't harsh and being rebellious. Maybe it was mild little things, but the things that you didn't like, as far as correction is concerned, you rebelled against it, whether it was something outright loud or something that, you're in your room, man, I don't want to do this. But then you get older and you say, wow, mom was strict. Grandma was strict. Auntie was strict. Whoever it was that raised you up. But I can see the benefit now that I didn't get caught up in certain things, and it made me a better person. And all of my friends made mistakes and misjudgments in their life because I thought they were having all the fun because they didn't have any guidance in their life and enforcement of the guidance. Right? So the thing is, Kevin Samuels. What am I thinking about Kevin Hart? Yo, I need to go to sleep, y'all. What time is it? 5:10 in the morning. I got to be somewhere at 10. I'm going to keep on going for a little while. I say that, and a lot of times I'm going on like 3 more hours, right? That's just the way it is. Kevin Hart, my brain is on. I was watching a little video with him on there. I don't think he's that funny, though. He just doesn't, he could be funny, but he needs to be a little more militant. I'm a Paul Mooney man. But those things that we didn't like, we realized it helped to steer us clear of other things, and that what was done that we thought they didn't like us or they were too strict, it was done out of love. Now, you're not supposed to be too strict. You're supposed to school your children. But I think that a Kevin Samuels, about to say Kevin Hart again, I don't know, right? But a Kevin Samuels is like that concentrated, intense father figure all rolled up and when thrown at you at one time. Boom, you're going to get rejected, but you're going to be controversial and you're going to get hits and you're going to make money. I understand that. But what if we had somebody in lifetime who would be that father, who would be that male figure, who takes their time and really explains things and makes you see and always talks to you out of love and understanding? That's one of the things you have to do to know when you're talking to somebody who may be in a certain state of mind that they're in love with what they're doing and the decadence that they're doing. You got to understand where they are, right? And other women would see what Kevin Samuels would do in, waist size, dress size. You're not healthy. You're so-and-so height, and according to so-and-so, come on, man. I'm out here in Africa, and there are some very healthy women that have some hips, man, and curves. And I was having a discussion with a dear friend of mine who had moved out here also. And she would always say, and if she's listening now, she know I'm not lying. I think you're listening. You're not in the chat room, but you listen. That she couldn't figure out how the African women here, not all of them, but a lot of them, they got that. Like, why? I said, well, that's how we are. That's our genetics. She says, no, it's got to be something a little more than that. And we got Spence Holloway calling. I'm going to pick up and see if we can get him on. Brother Spence, are you on with us? You know I'm live, right?
Yo, sir, is that shit true?
Okay, hold on a second. Let me see if you're really coming through. Say it again, brother.
Is that true? Did Kevin Samuels die?
Yeah, you know you on live, right? Just make sure.
Yo, fam, be playing with me. That dude did not die.
Yo, hold on. Let me untangle this wire. I got like all of these wires. Now I got to put the headphones on to hear you because we're live. You know?
All right.
Yeah. No. You walked right into a good one. Because okay.
Yo, he did not die, bro.
Let me just say something to the people or family who's listening. Can you hear Brother Spence over the phone into the live feed? Can you hear him clear? It's a little static, but that's okay. You can hear me, but can you hear him? Can you hear Brother Spence?
Yo, what's up, people? What's up?
Yeah, talk to me. Yo, Spence, get off the speakerphone, man. I know you on that speaker. You love that speakerphone.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me better now?
When you're on, exactly. When you get off the speaker, you can hear him. Thank you, Sun Kiss. Talk to us. You know you got a whole crowd listening to you right now.
Yo, man, y'all kidding me. This dude did not die, bro.
Thank you, people.
And then, I was looking at it. I'm over here at work. I'm working in a nightclub tonight, but I happened to look on YouTube and saw you having your show. And when I saw
it bugged you out.
What you were saying, bro. Huh?
It bugged you out, didn't it? When you saw,
Yeah, man. You got it in on top of the shit. People are celebrating the dude's death.
Okay.
Word?
See, I haven't had a chance to I saw a little bit of that in comments, but now I think that's going to be something that, it's showing how far off we are. Tell me your opinion, man. Talk to us.
Bro, look, check it. As many representatives for women in America that you have all over YouTube, social media, and all this shit, you like one of the biggest influences in men. Like if you're celebrating his death, like you're celebrating the brother dying because what? What, you didn't like what he said? That's why motherfuckers is like, everybody's celebrating because they didn't like what the dude said about women in America? Yo, this is how you SCURV, check it, bro. This is how you know that nigga was hitting on hard. The only reason motherfuckers be having beef with anybody is when cats are spitting straight facts. If he was talking shit, nobody would give a fuck. If it was just like, yo, he talking shit, it ain't real what he talking about, whatever. Like, yo, fuck it. But when niggas be hitting hard, when they hitting hard on the topic, that's when people get upset. When you spitting the truth to people really like, come on, you gotta hate a motherfucker that would be like, yo, it's good that he died.
Yeah.
It's good. We're happy. We celebrating that he died. Cause you know what? Cause y'all know that nigga was hitting hard. He was hitting you hard. Cause it's like right now in America, people don't want to tell women the truth. They want to sit here and sugarcoat shit. And we need to. Oh no, women this and women are the queens of the blah 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 blah. Man, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't give a fuck. When it comes down to it, all of us human, everybody lives, everybody dies.
Yeah.
Or everybody can live and everybody can die. Don't put yourself on these damn pedestals, thinking that because you got a vagina that you special and shit. You ain't special. You're a little meat sack walking around. Just like us, oh, this shit is fucking amazing. When I saw this shit, it kind of hit hard because, I listen to them every now and then. I'm like, yo, this dude, I just saw something with him when he was over there in Vegas with another brother that we talking. What the hell what is the dude's name, man? I can't forget the dude's name. I don't want to say some light-skinned brother. He looked like he's Latin, but he's black, supposedly. But Kevin was over there. Huh?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin was over there interviewing people in Vegas. I just saw the shit. I guess this past weekend. And now, all of a sudden, bro, the bleeding brother don't die like that, man. And SCURV, he looked like he was reasonably in good shape, too.
Yeah, but,
so it's like,
you never know what's going on in the inside of somebody's body.
Well,
no, but seriously, and sometimes there are a lot of us who stand for stuff and we see how sensible they may appear to be. I'm not saying everything he said, but I'm just saying he had his act together. He obviously paid his bills. Yeah, he made money on YouTube, but he wasn't a dumb guy, right? But sometimes
he wasn't dumb at all.
Right, but we expect the wisdom or intelligence they have to spread out in every aspect of their lives, and sometimes there are parts that they neglect. You know, maybe he was so far on it this way with how the sexes interacted that he neglected his health. I'm not saying he did, but it's a possibility. So that's why we have to put our life force across the board in every category, mentally, physically, and spiritually, while we're here. Because lots of times when in hindsight, we can say, oh, this is what happened. Oh, this is the reason why it happened. So even now, a person who seems to have their act together, aside from the personal views, right? If you saw him and didn't know him, like, this guy's suited up. He's driving a nice car. Of course, he made money on YouTube. We understand that. But you see that, okay, whatever. Now, if you get to know him and don't like what he said, now you can have another reason. But you know he's not a mass murderer. It's not like you don't like Kevin Samuels, but if you ended up over his house, he's going to treat you bad or he's going to just grill you. Because I see a lot of other YouTubers that are female that speak in a way of truth that may not be the way he brought it, but when they see him, they're like, hey, so-and-so. So I see that he can have another side of him that people didn't know. Like with me, when they look at some of the videos that I've done when I'm angry about racism and I'm going off and I'm talking a certain way, and they meet me in person and they say, SCURV, but they kind of like the guard is up, right? Like they don't want to. And then I speak to them, I say, hey, brother, how you doing? I saw a brother here from America at the shop right over there by Accra Mall a couple days ago, and he was holding hand with his fiance. She was just as white as can be. And he saw me, and it's like he almost wanted to let her hand go. Oh, SCURV. And he looked at her nervous, and she didn't know what a SCURV was. So she smiled nervous, like, okay, it must be somebody. So he kind of left her and walked up to me, and I said, man, thank you for the props and everything, but you know, you walked away from your girlfriend. I ain't that important. And he looked and he said, yeah, you're right, man. But you know, I was kind of like feeling funny because I know how you talk. I said, listen, I don't hate nobody unless they give me a reason to it. I know how the system works. I know pretty much how we deal with each other. I'm not in your business like that, bro. That could be a lesson you have to learn. Maybe it could be the greatest thing for you. I don't know. I don't have time to run around and take my philosophies and what I know to be the truth and run after everybody and convince them, and you shouldn't be. I'd waste my time. I've been cool a lot of times now when I see certain things. You know what I mean? I'm not going to wear myself down on something I can't change. I'm not a fighter like a boxer. I love it. And I used to play little games in the backyard with my friend and punching people and stuff, but I think that way. And my thing is effective aggression. Not necessarily aggression again. I'm railing against everybody. I'll sit in the restaurant and see certain things and pick up on it because I observe it. I have a template of experiences and a bag full of experiences that I can draw from in life that I know what it is that I'm seeing when I see it. Do I have to get all bent up in out of shape? I pick my battles. Now, if you put me up against the corner, up in the corner, and I have to fight my way out, I'm going to fight very effective because I know your style. I know how to fight you and deal with you. I'm not going to wear myself down. I got to drive easy now. Sometimes I got to, put the car in neutral when I'm going down the hill if the gas is low so I don't burn as much gas. But we don't learn that until we get a little age and we get shrewd. You know what I mean? Yeah. So go ahead, brother. I know you got something to talk. And Lord Truth, you can call in. I can only take one call at a time. So keep going, Spence. So I will let other people call in. My hookup is, if I was on WhatsApp.
My thing,
yeah. Go ahead, brother.
My thing is quick because, like I say, I'm at work right now. So I'm working now, it's Cinco de Mayo over here in the States and everything, so.
Yeah.
These cats asked me to come down and work tonight, so I'm out here working. I was just trying to call me and holler at you and see, like, yo, if this shit was true or not.
You know I'm on it.
People be doing the rumor. I know. I saw you talking, but I couldn't. Like I was at the front door, so I couldn't call. But I put myself away from the front door, and I'm like, let me go holler at SCURV and see what happened, man. How it is, bro.
And I've been really busy this last week and a half. I mean, really busy outside of doing this stuff on the thing that I'm doing, right? So we were supposed to do a show maybe in the next couple of days. When you're free, you call me and let me know. Like, hey, let's chop it up.
Yeah, man. I'm, like. My oldest daughter, she about to move up to Pennsylvania, so, bro, I'm telling you, Sunday, I'm open, bro. You want to do something, you want to do a little show on Sunday?
Yeah.
And we can touch back on this camera show.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, SCURV, by Sunday, it's gonna be so much shit that's said, you know, I'm gonna be fuming about it. You know, I'm not gonna get it off my chest and everything.
No,
so,
I know. You're gonna hear it.
What's up? Okay, I keep forgetting. You guys, how many hours ahead of us?
4 hours. I'm 4 hours ahead of you.
4 hours?
Yeah, I'm 4.
All right,
4
so
hours.
like on Sunday around 4 o'clock my time and 8 o'clock this time, and we'll put the show out there.
Right. Right now for me, it's 5:23. I didn't know I was going to be up this long. I didn't know the show was. I was just going to go on for 15 minutes and talk a little bit. But you know me, when I start talking.
Yeah, man. But shit, hey, talk, Phil, because you know, like at least somebody saying, "Son, man, I can't believe you encouraged like that, bro."
Oh, brother, remember, we're in that age group now. You know, and
yeah.
You know, and so
I just turned 50, so believe me, and I'm overweight. So when I see niggas that look like, okay, what?
But you know what? We're also all different in our physical makeup. You can be bigger and on a higher, healthier level internally. But it's always good to take off the excess as we get older. It's all because we're working our system less. And even me, you know, I'm a little lighter than I was before, but I need to come down like maybe 40, 50 pounds of fat if I can find it that much. I mean, there's fat on me and I need to take it off, but I need to come down 25, 30 pounds.
Man, you look like I said last time, everybody know you Black Superman, bro. What you talking about, man? You Black Superman.
Black Superman need to lose some weight. I need to lose some weight, man. Thanks for the compliment.
Black Superman is like, fuck, you gotta eat my food. I don't say nothing. Why? It's time to chill out, relax, eat some. You still eating healthy and everything, right?
I don't know if you're still there with me, brother. I see we're connected, but I heard a little funny sound and I don't hear you. If you can hear me. Okay, he hung up. I'm gonna give it a second to see if he calls back. And Lord Truth, I'll let you call in, but give us, okay, here is Brother Spence calling us back. So, all right. Yeah, I heard a big beat, man, and you fell off, but I'm here, Spence.
SCURV, I don't know what happened, man. My phone keeps dropping. I'm in downtown Orlando.
You know the government don't like this channel. You know Shadow Band. If I had a wig on and lipstick, then they'd be like, I'd have like 3 million followers by now. You know seriously, my shadow band.
Yo, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit you back up on Sunday, all right?
All right, we do that anytime Sunday, man, no matter what time it is. You know, I got my stuff set up right here. It's just a matter of clicking a few buttons and we're going. We're on. All right? I think you're blanking out a little bit, but hang on up, man. And we're going to talk on Sunday, and I'll have you call in a better way so we have a better signal. You know, even if we have it live or we record it, I don't know. But I'm going to hang up, Spence. I don't know if you can hear me because I'm going to wrap it. The birds are outside like, wait a second. Is it light outside? Wait. No, it's getting lighter. Y'all don't hear them birds, do you? It's like they're all right up under my window. All right, Lord Truth. Call in 407. You can call in straight. 407-590-0755. I'm going to put it up. Should have had it on the screen. Do I have it on the screen? No, I don't. Okay, here it is. You can call straight. You're not going to incur any long distance calls. You know, I got the hookup to get straight calls from the United States at no charge. Only $143 a year. Long distance. That's a beautiful thing. Parkmyphone.com. That's how I do it. Anyway, Lord Truth, if you want to call in, call in. Yeah, Spence, it's cool. It's cool. I got you. But Sunday, we're going to do our thing. You know, I don't forget. I got the memory like an elephant. I love these conversations. And we'll invite other people to call in also, you know? All right. Oh, you hear the birds, y'all, all right? Let me see, put the microphone. They're going to get louder too. And the roosters out there all day long. They done lost their mind. They don't wait till like 5 o'clock in the morning. Shh, don't tell them my secret. I'm the Black Clark Kent, podcaster, middle-aged guy, retired. But when trouble starts, no, I'm just playing. Yeah. Go ahead, Black Superman. Lord Truth. You got me calling Lord Truth Black Superman. I'm going to wrap it down soon. If you don't, birds are everywhere. I love it in the morning time. I was up all night. Ain't that something? I'm probably going to stay up until the time I have to do my thing at 10 o'clock because I'm hyped. I hate it and I love it because I know once I stay up past a certain time, it's like, I got this energy and I got to stay up and I got to make things happen. Right? Okay. So, thanks a lot, Big Spence. We're going to talk with you. And, I want to hook it up where you can even see Brother Spence because you got expressions on your face that you make that would just tickle everybody. You know what I mean? And I'm just glad that you called in and add a little season to the show. And I'm pretty much, I know if I end the show now, I'll probably pretty much say, you know what? I could have said this or I could have said that. But, we'll catch it up on the next one. I just want to open up another link here so I can access some music. I got to program my module to play all the usual songs that I play. That's why you haven't heard Minister Farrakhan, White Man's Heaven is a Black Man's Hell. That's my signature song, and I got to program these things up this weekend, but I've just been so busy as usual. No excuse, I guess that's it. Anything anybody wants to say in the chat room? I just want to say thank you all for being here. Britain. Bro, when you going to call me? You see, I'm doing my thing. Come on, Britain. Tell everybody my name when I used to drive the bus. The name you used to call me. People see me as this soft guy laughing and smiling and giggling. Come on, Britain. We'll put your name up across the front. That's my boy right here. I'm not saying he's a grown man. He ain't no boy. That's just love talk, right? Tell everybody in the chat room what my nickname was before we go. Hey, brother, you want to call in? You want to call in? Stone face. That's right. That's what, because I had that mean looking face. I'm driving through the hood, and if you mess with me, I'm going to get you. I'm going to just make my neck look bigger and come off driving the bus, looking all aggressive, like, try something with me. One night, Britain was riding, and we started talking. There was nobody on the bus. He's like, this guy's not as mean as he looks. Yeah. His job was finished. He helped as much as he could. He agreed. Yeah. And there were all black women weren't against him. And that's something he was on Instagram last night. But I think about that. What our last post, what our last YouTube video would be, and how do people see you in the course of your life? We all don't have a chance to show people that we're not stone face. Yeah, Britain. Listen, here. You can call straight if you want to, if you can, if you're able to. It may not be, maybe people sleeping in the house or something and they're all quiet and whatever. But if you can call in, Britain, I want to hear from you. And there's a number right there. Let me see. Let me put it up across the screen. 407. I'm in Africa and I still got the Central Florida, Orange County area code. Ain't that tight? Yes. Leave your comments on Kevin Samuels. I kind of focused on and asked the question, is that his only mission? Was his only mission only about hating black women? I didn't want to come, he did, and he this, he that, and just the sensationalism. I thought about it for a little while. And I said, let me come correct, Yeah, call him now. I'm going to wrap it up a little bit. I want to have that high point. I want us to talk and connect. Then I'll get your number again because this other phone I have, I don't have your number. Call it now. 407-590-0755. I'm not going to get no sleep now. It's 5:33. I was born 5:34 in the morning, April 8th. Yeah. Oh, no, you don't have to comment on the man. I want to chop it up with you for a second. I want you to show love to everybody. I want everybody to show love to you, right? And we can reminisce on some old bus driving stories. Yeah, you don't have to say anything about him. These little gnats, man. See, I ate all these mangoes and left it in the garbage can. And I swung the door open to go downstairs real quick, and I didn't realize all these gnats are going to smell the mango seeds in the all these gnats are in here now. That's why I'm sitting up here with bug spray. African bug spray. Yeah. Okay, well, if you want to talk tomorrow, you have the number. Give me a call tomorrow. I'm 4 hours ahead of you. So I might even take an afternoon nap because I'm going to stay up until 10. I got to meet Elizabeth, honestly. We got to take care of some business, and then I'm going to double back home. I'll probably crash, and I'll do my content like after, like later on in the evening, because this was kind of like long. Yeah. Okay. And Sweetest Princess, respectfully shares her opinion. She says, I couldn't have the stomach to watch Kevin Samuels videos. I've seen enough of his narcissistic ways and video clips, how he degraded black women. That's, that's what it is. I mean, we all have our perspectives. And again, let me see here. Oh, Chief Buck by Nature. Welcome, welcome. I'm good. That's the bodyguard right there. See? They show us love all over the country in America. And yeah, soon, between now and next year, I'll be back there just to, chop it up. But I'm going to move. Oh, you got to get up in 5 hours? Yeah, right, because you're 4 hours behind me. Yeah, so it's a different, yeah. Okay, no, I got you. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this down, y'all. I'm going to lay down for 2 or 3 hours, honestly. Get a little sip of water, snack on something, go to sleep. But the day is already starting, and I just don't have as much to do today, so I can do that, come back and rest. But if you don't see any content early on, we will be coming back with it. I'm chopping up some new things, some new little gadgets and different things. I like the way this kind of looks right now. This camera looks a little better than the other little cam that I used to use. What's your opinion on that? How does it look on your screen? I think it looks a little better, It has a little mechanism. If I put my hand close, it focuses on that and takes the focus off of me, right? If I was to hold something up close, let me see something for a second. Let me take this and do a little experiment on the show, You see that? It'll focus on the detail of what's up close. I don't even think I have it on that setting. When you pull it away, I'm fuzzy, then it goes back to normal. I like that. Anyway, okay, yeah, the number's right there. I put it up. I'll put it across the screen again. You scrolled it up pretty right there. Oh, it's right there anyway. What am I doing? It's right here on the bottom left. Same number, 407-590-0755. People are scared. Like, if I call that number, am I going to get like $1,000 phone bill? No, it goes direct. Anyway, let me run, y'all. The energy is kind of pulling me. The birds and the roosters and the bed is calling me, and that's just the way it is. So anyway, I enjoyed myself. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I respect everybody's viewpoint, perspectives, and opinions. Like I said, we all are the sum total of our experiences. So not any two people are going to exactly, even when they agree, there'll be some differences. So we have to understand that and look beyond and to try to understand what maybe a person went through to have something different from us, but it's not wrong if it's sincere, not vindictive. To build the Black community back together again, we're going to have to see it that way. And we're going to have to pull ego out of it. We're going to have to pull emotions out of it. We're going to have to deal with the real deal of how we need to take these blocks and build our house, our community back together again. I love my Black people. Britain can tell you, I only took routes in Black neighborhoods. I only took bus routes in neighborhoods that some of the white folks in Central Florida say, oh, that's a bad neighborhood. Come on, Britain, tell them. You know it. Carver Shores, Tangelo Park, Washington Shores. What's the other one? What's the other one? The 319. Come on, y'all. Y'all saw me through those, neighborhoods, and I was always there. Sometimes on the weekend, there were shootouts, and sometimes there were shootouts at buses, but I never got that at me because people knew where I was coming from. I still had love. As much as I was stone-faced as a preventative measure, Britain, you never saw me have to get up or somebody throw something at me. And I was a corrections officer in the very same county before I went on the bus. And people were like, you sure you're going to drive a bus through the neighborhoods where people are, where you worked, and now they're back out free? I said, I never had a problem when I worked in the jail with any one of them. Matter of fact, my first apartment was right in the so-called hood when I was working in the jail, right there on Texas Avenue in Rio Grande. They used to call it Winford Circle. They call it something else now. And then I went down to Buchanan Bay Apartments on Americana in Texas. And when my car wouldn't work, I'd walk all the way down Texas, Americana, and up John Young in uniform. You crazy, man. They're going to take shots at you. All I got was love. Yeah. You're right. That was the defense mechanism. Sometimes I was shaking like, I hope these guys don't bother me. No, I don't walk in fear. But I don't think I'm Superman either. You know what I mean? But I kept my face a certain way. It's like, I don't want to mess with that guy. And I'm sorry if I threw that face off on you. Richmond Heights, right? Richmond Heights. I remember Richmond Heights. So me and Britton go way back. I just want to say, brother, I love you very much. And I want to talk with you, and there's things that I can do on a love offering, love level. Mrs. SCURV loves you. She asks you all the time, but we so busy doing what we do, we never forget you. But it's just like sometimes time sweeps us up. But just that quick, you can come on after so long that we haven't been talking, and we have our memories together. So you know I walk with you. You know what I mean? Huh? Oh, damn. Everybody's calling me Superman. I got aches and pains now. Superman needs some Superman strength. When I get angry, I turn strong, though. I'm telling you. Anyway, I just want to say, I don't want to cut it short. I'm really loving the flow right now, but, you know, we're going to be right on back tomorrow night some point because there's a boxing match. No. What is it? Wait, I'm all off. Wait, today's Friday, right? Saturday, we're going to be on late. Friday, we're going to be on late, right? But I'm thinking, even last night, I was thinking it was Saturday. Out here, I'm so off in my time. I just know each day as it is, but I don't look at days no more. Sunday could be Wednesday, Thursday could be Tuesday. It's just every day I have something to do to improve myself and to focus in on. I'm in the zone, y'all. I can run my mouth, but I'm in the zone. You're right. I'm going to get my rest. You know, I always did the night shift, man. I do the night shift or late shift on the bus and go home and do a live show and go to bed at 6 o'clock, come back and drive the next day. I loved it. Anyway, thank you so much, sweetest princess. I cherish black men, and I was abused by them mentally and physically. And I look up to you. You say you cherish them, or maybe you don't cherish. I don't know what you meant by that, but I'm taking it that you cherish them. And, you know, we hurt where we are. When they say black on black crime, I'll say this before I go. They say, oh, black on black crime. Well, what about white on white crime? Black on black crime, you can say that, but black folks in a black neighborhood, what, you gonna leave your neighborhood and go kill somebody white? You get angry, you get into things that happens where you are. But you don't say white on white crime. All the white people killing all the white, those numbers are worse. The mass shootings and things going on, mostly angry white men. We got so-called hoods with metal detectors in the schools, and it ain't happening like at these white schools where they're shooting up people, these crazy white boys, whatever have you, but they slip that in and we run with that. How about we get into some black on black love? They don't like that because out of love, so many good things can happen. We do for our sisters and brothers out of love, unconditional, not any secret motivations and hidden agendas, right? They hate to see that. They hate it. And anyway, I'm getting fired up. The sun's going to come up and that just activates me even more. So I'll probably be laying there for 2 hours with my eyes wide open. All right, y'all. Anyway, Oyala, I'm going to call you for 2 minutes after this just to connect with you because we're going to do our thing. Has to be this weekend, but I'm going to call you. I'm not going to just ignore that. I'm going to call you. I'm going to hear your voice for a little while. And to everybody else, like I said, I had a good time. I hope you understood me. Let's use this as a means to start a discussion and to continue our own self-healing because that's what I'm all about, that we heal ourselves, you know, that we should be in that mode of thinking that, yeah, accountability and everything, you know, we shouldn't be accountable for everything, but we're accountable for something. You know what I mean? And on that note, let me wrap this down and I'm going to do my thing and get a little lay down. I'm like a car. I don't rest. I idle.
In the days coming down the seconds on the timer. Goofy niggas still trying to purchase that designer. About to buy a chopper, learn to grow my own food. Cause I don't like the look that get me in the Whole Foods. And when you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. But it ain't on me now, I'm limping cause my dick heavy. But ain't shit sweet, niggas think we thin. My whole attitude on MC Ren. It's my neighborhood now, Bob, I bought that. 400 years, how you still ain't caught that? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm trying to do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Oh yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside.